So I'm pulling out of the Lake Vesuvius Campground here in Wayne National Forest, Eastern Woodlands. Oh, look at the turkeys up here. Oh, look at that. Got him. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Go, buddy. Just a nice woodland cruise. This area here is just typical of the beautiful southern Ohio countryside where you have farms and, well, farms. Okay, so we just hung a left on, let's see, County Road 110, and as you can see we're back on the gravel and back in the woods. So I'm here at the beginning of day 3. I'm in the Lake Vesuvius Campground. Spent a nice night here last evening. Weather looks good today, but before I pulled out, I thought I'd do a quick walk around and show you what the bike looks. Fully packed up. The luggage is the Moscow Moto Reckless 80 luggage set. It's version 4, I think, and I have got it pretty much loaded to the gills because I'm doing a full, almost week camp off of it, and you know, I have all my food and you know, no hotels, no restaurants or anything, so got food. The only thing I have to replenish is gas and water and whatever miscellaneous stuff there is. Anyway, this is the bike fully packed up. This is a 2025 Triumph Scrambler 400X. It's a, it's a Scrambler, so of course not a dual sport or an enduro. So you can't do super technical trails with it, but for the kind of riding that I do, being a senior single rider, solo rider, it works for me. It does a pretty broad range. You can cruise on interstates with it. I've got it geared up with a 15 tooth, so keeps the revs down. Still plenty of power. But anyway, there's the bike looks like. This is a what they call it, Sea to Summit stuff sack for the sleeping bag. I always carry a bike cover with me, more for dew than rain, but of course when it rains you definitely want it. And that's what the other black thing is on top. There she is, fully packed out. I've got my Insta360 rigged to record some of the ride. Maybe around noon today I'll take that off and just put up the chin camera for POV shots. And I've got let's see, Dunlop Trail Max Raid knobby tires on it. Surprisingly quiet on the highway. I carry my water down here, and I've had people ask, "Gee whiz, man, doesn't that get hot from the engine?" No, it doesn't. Surprisingly, there's just enough air flowing through there, I guess, where the water is not even warm at the end of an 8 or 9 hour riding day. I tested it, and I did an hour ride with it when I first mounted it there. Nope, doesn't do anything. Another question I get is right back here. I think, gee whiz, man, doesn't the tailpipe, burn your? These are the auxiliary pods that I got for the Reckless 80, and no, it runs cold, so no heat problems at all. Plenty of space. So anyway, there's what she looks like, all geared up and ready to go. Sorry for the shaky iPhone video, but I'm about ready to go. I've got the route planned. You can see we're off course because of course we're in the campground, but we're going to do section 3 today, and we'll end up at Tar Hallow State Park this evening. So just do a quick walk around again, see what it looks like. I call this the harpoon whale look, because you have the invisible selfie stick for the Insta360 out there. But I've never had issues with it. I've dropped the bike a couple times with it on there, and no damage done. Now I have a protective cage on it, and I have the premium lens guards. I have scratched a lens guard before. It's hooked up for audio through a, see, what is it? DJI Mic Mini system. This is the receiver, and then there's the adapter to plug the sound in. And then I have Velcroed the microphone to the inside of my helmet. So there we go. And yeah, here we go. Looking forward to another nice day of riding. All right, see you on the trail. So I'm pulling out of the Lake Vesuvius campground here in Wayne National Forest. Really nice place. I stayed at the, oh gosh, what is it? Ironton Campground? Anyway, it's at Lake Vesuvius. There's two of them. There's like Oak Hill and then this one. I drove through Oak Hill. It was nice. And but anyway, wanted to check this one out. And this one was a little bit less crowded. Now, you know, none of them are crowded because this is a, what was that, Monday night. This is Tuesday morning. And but anyway, this one looks nice. I found a nice site. $20 for an electric site with water. I think that's the cheapest, a full hookup site I've ever seen, and you know, a really nice site. So if you're ever at Lake Vesuvius, definitely you know, think about camping here. And just that quickly, we're back on the beginning of section 3 of the Great Ohio Adventure Trail. So we're, let's see, 5 miles out of Lake Vesuvius, and we are back on the gravel on Township Road 198. It's always nice to be back in the gravel and back in the woods, because this is why we do it. So right now we're cruising along, let's see, County Road or Township Road 320, and it is an up and down affair. It's funny because when you turn right on it, it seems like you're going straight up. I should have been recording and see what the you know, the angle of the ascent was, but I didn't have the camera on at the time. But beautiful riding through, I mean, up some pretty wicked hills, and then I'm on top of the mountain right now, or whatever it is, and really nice riding up here. Again, it's Township Road 320. This is, what am I, hour and 14 minutes into section 3, starting at Lake Vesuvius Campground. How far have I gone? Almost 28 miles into section 3. Look, we have a mother and 2 fawns up here. Aw. Mom went one way, the fawns went the other. No, they'll get back together. Yeah, see, look at this. It's just gorgeous. Most of this is second, third, sometimes fourth gear stuff. You know, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Just a nice woodland cruise. Okay, so we just hung a left on, let's see, County Road 110, and as you can see, we're back on the gravel and back in the woods. One thing I want to talk about, because I've run into this a few times, and anybody who's ridden much through the great eastern woodlands has run into it, is, of course, down trees. And Yeah, we got a little bit of a hill here. So I always bring a saw with me. Yeah, this is a little technical here. It doesn't look like it, I know, but it is. All right. So I always bring a saw with me. I think mine's a 14-inch. It's a folding saw, super sharp blade. And when I was doing the Smoky Mountains 500 last year, a tornado or high winds, I think it was a legit tornado, had gone through one of the state forests down there 3 days before we hit the trail. For some reason, we didn't know about it, and there was one down tree after another. I mean big ones, but county road crews, but also volunteer crews, people who volunteer for the state forest, had been through there and cleared a lot of them, but clearly not all of them. So anyway, before technical trail interrupted, what I was saying is, you know, if you're new to ADV riding and you're riding here in the east, you know, in the eastern woodlands. Oh, look at the turkeys up here. Oh, look at that. Got 'em. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Go, buddy. Anyway, if you're riding in, you know, the tree tunnels of the eastern woodlands here, I'm talking east of the Mississippi, and of course anywhere there's woods, you know, west coast, wherever, definitely bring a saw, because chances are you're going to need it at some point. You don't need it every day, but if you won't need it very often, but when you need it, you'll need it real bad. And we literally had to saw and hack our way through, I forget what the state forest was down in Georgia, where the high winds had knocked over so many trees. The road crews had cleared a lot of them, but by no means all of them. And so we had to saw limbs and lift our motorcycles over. And anyway, we made it through. This was on section 1, the green section of the Smoky Mountains 500. I'll try to put some pictures in this video, but it was something. So I decided to turn the camera back on because, you know, we're out of the forest now. We're on, let's see, County Road 16. But this is fairly typical of the little 2-lane asphalt roads that you're on. This one's pretty heavily patched. Maybe you can see that. But, you know, this is just a nice ride in early August. You pass, you know, fields of, this year anyway, really tall standing corn and little farms, you know, legacy cottages in some cases, like that one to my right. Hope I caught that on video. Whoops, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. I just missed my turn onto County Road 5. Where can I turn here? Hang on, I'll be back. Okay, so I corrected my misturn. We're now on County Road 5. And like I was saying, this area here is just typical of the beautiful southern Ohio countryside where you have farms and, well, farms. You do see some fairly expensive houses, you know, usually sitting on top of hills as you come through here. But you'll see horses in the fields, cattle in the fields, sheeps in the fields. I've passed a couple of what look like maybe goat farms, but just really nice riding. And some of them are tree covered like this, and sometimes you're out in the open countryside. It's a real nice mixture that Brad McFadden has strung together. I can't imagine how much time he put into researching this. It's really quite a route he has authored. Yeah, there's a nice big place up on the hill, white fence lining the driveway. You can look ahead there and see the nice views that you get on these back roads. I mean, this is, as I probably don't have to say, this is very reminiscent of, you know, backcountry discovery routes, BDRs. Same type thing. which is great. And you have options. You know, there are some sections on this, at least in the first two sections. I should say some roads in the first two sections that are maybe a little bit challenging, you know, depending on your bike and your skill level. But, and there's easy workarounds to them. If you don't want to take that particular road, there's other county roads you can reroute yourself on. I've done that twice so far. But just a beautifully laid out route. So we're heading through the countryside towards Tar Hallow on Alex White Road. Again, more beautiful countryside. Twisties, mixture of gravel and pavement. Beautiful fence rows, barbed wire. I didn't have the camera on at the time, of course, but about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes ago, a fox darted right out in front of me, maybe, I don't know, 10 yards ahead. He took off from my right, glanced at me, and sprinted into the woods. A lot of deer on Section 3. Does and their fawns. The fawns are starting to lose their spots. You know, here we are in early August, so they're, you know, 3 or 4 months old. But the Johnson Road covered bridge is coming up here pretty shortly. There we go. So yeah, Johnson Road covered bridge. Huh. So still on Johnson Road, but look at the size of the corn here in early August. Boy, the price per bushel is going to be down this year because look at that supply standing there. It is a bumper crop this year. It's the same with soybeans. They've had ideal rains. Now, the only thing that could prevent that, of course, is if, you know, they have a lot of rain and, you know, the harvest is goofed up. That'll create a shortage, but let's hope for the farmer's sake that they get a decent price and they're able to harvest. But yeah, it's going to be a nice crop. Okay, I see Highway 776. It's a nice vista. Amish guy out in the field. If you can see that or not. Yeah, we're in Amish country. Nice. I don't know, maybe 25-30 miles south of Tar Hallow State Park, which is the objective for today. But section 3, wow, beautiful from beginning to, I hope, the end. You know, this is pretty typical here of the county roads, township roads, you know, the gravel roads with some pavement mixed in. But, you know, nice place to stop and take a break where we can find some shade. It's not too hot. I think it's around upper 70s. It might be 80. But bike's doing great. I'll have more than enough fuel to get to Tar Hallow, although I think there's a gas station before then. So I'll stop and top off the tank there, so I'll be ready to hit section 4 in the morning. Just a really relaxing, really fun ride. You know, there was some challenging, for me anyway, you know, gravel uphill things where the road was rutted and you got large stones and stuff like that, but nothing all that serious. And just an awful lot of fun. Gee, can't say enough about the Great Ohio Adventure Trail. It just is everything that I hoped it would be. Again, very similar to in feel and in content with, I did the PA Wilds BDR last year. So anyway, a great ride today. You know, what can you say? An awful lot of fun, and that's the only reason we're out here, because it's enjoyable. Okay, so on to Tar Hallow State Park and trying to find a campsite. So we're almost there. We're on State Park Road 39 on the final run into Tar Hallow. We're in Tar Hallow State Forest. And we've got, I don't know, a couple miles to go, something like that. Maybe more than that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a beautiful State Park road. So I thought I would record a little bit of it. Still just using the chin camera for POV shots. It's nice not to have the Insta360 sticking off the front of the bike all day long. There's no substitute for it, but it's nice just to do the chin camera. Yeah, we're going uphill, downhill. I hope the telemetry is showing on this because it's pretty steep, which you can't see by looking at the video. I just had a really neat incident. I was stopped, I don't know, maybe a mile back, taking a break. Actually, I was taking ibuprofen. And an older gentleman comes up. I say older, yeah, I don't even know if he was as old as I am. But anyway, he was riding a DR650. And he asked me if everything was okay. Yep, I gave him the thumbs up. Anyway, he pulled off and he stopped and we had a conversation, and the guy was telling me, he likes to ride, but he's had pretty serious heart problems for a number of years. He's had multiple heart attacks, and he's had 10 stents put in, and he has pretty serious cardiac issues. And he originally bought the DR to ride the TAT, but he doesn't think he's going to be able to do that now. And so I asked him, has he heard of the G.O.A.T? Yeah, he knew all about the G.O.A.T. He knew that Brad McFarland had authored it, and he'd watched, I think he watched the video series on it, but he doesn't have a GPS, and he was unsure of where exactly the G.O.A.T went. But I said, well, you're towards the end of section 3 if you're going south to north. And anyway, we had a nice conversation. I said, we got philosophical within a few minutes. We're both of a similar age. And I said, each day is a gift, and to the best you can, do whatever is possible to enjoy yourself. Be responsible, but if you want to do something, go out and do it, because the old saying, if not now, when? And so anyway, 2 senior ADV riders having a conversation, having met in the middle of a trail in the middle of the state forest. And anyway, it was a nice conversation. We probably talked for 15-20 minutes, but I'll remember that. I'll remember that gentleman from this ride. He seemed like a real nice guy, and I enjoyed my conversation with him. And anytime it says State Park Road, you're in good shape. And this is no exception to that. Beautiful. I wish that I were better at just speaking off the cuff like so many ADV riders are. They can narrate. I just don't have that knack. I wish I did, but I don't. So my narration's really not that interesting. But I think I'm like a lot of people. I record these just so I'll have them for my memories later on, and then I put them up on YouTube. And if other people want to watch them, that's great. It's really nice that people are interested in it. But I know that compared to many ADV riders who put out videos, mine are not all that great, but I enjoy making them, and I enjoy watching them later. And anybody else that likes to watch them later, again, that's nice. Some fresh gravel. Fresh gravel is wonderful because it means they're doing maintenance, and of course it's terrible because it can be a little bit of a challenge. So classic two-edged sword. So we've arrived at the, Brush Ridge Lookout Tower. Yep, that's where we're at. Anyway, there it is. And are you allowed to climb it? Looks like maybe you are. But anyway, it very similar design to the Copperhead Fire Tower down in Shawnee. It looks like it might be identical. Oh, it still has windows in it and everything. Oh yeah, it's closed at the top. You can't go inside it. Yeah, I thought Copperhead was the last climbable, historic fire tower in Ohio. But nice that they keep it there. Huh. Okay, let's see. How far do we have to go? Not far. Maybe 2 or 3 miles. It could not be a more beautiful day. We're on South Ridge Road, which obviously is paved. I'm guessing we're done with the gravel now until we get to the state park.